Donald Trump just got devastating news out of Georgia. In Georgia's 14th congressional district, there was a special election that was held today to fill Marjorie Taylor Greene's congressional seat after she left Congress after being attacked by Donald Trump and called a traitor and exiled from MAGA. Now, there was a Democratic candidate in the race named Shawn Harris. There was a number of MAGA Republicans in the race. If any of the parties did not get more than 50% of the vote, there would be a runoff election. And get this, the Democratic candidate, although didn't get over 50% as of this recording, got the most votes in the special election and will be forcing a runoff. So in a district that is a Trump plus 37 district where Marjorie Taylor Greene would win by about 70% of the vote, as safe, as red as you get, in this special election, sometimes referred to as like a jungle special election because there's so many people in there, the Democrat has forced a runoff and has overperformed massively beyond anybody's wildest expectations, unless, of course, you've been watching here on the MeidasTouch Network where we interviewed the guy, the Democratic candidate Shawn Harris, where a few months back we predicted this exact result. This is sending utter panic and fear throughout the MAGA Republican ranks right now. A Democrat getting more votes than any Republican in this special election and forcing a runoff. Let's go through this news piece by piece. But again, just to remind you as well, back in that blue tsunami that hit last November, this wasn't getting a lot of attention, but we focused on it a lot here at the MeidasTouch Network, that for the first time in 25 years, Democrats flipped seats on Georgia's Public Service Commission from red to blue. Democratic candidates Alicia Johnson and Peter Hubbard defeated Republican incumbents, flipping these two longtime Republican-held seats, and they won by double digits. It was also something that we pointed out as well. There was a big mayor's race that took place where you had a Democrat, Mary Robichaud, defeated Republican incumbent Kurt Wilson in a runoff election to become the next mayor of Roswell, Georgia. A major upset and another sign of shifting suburban politics in the South. That was the blue tsunami back in November, but let's zoom in on what just took place today. Massive Democratic overperformance. The Democratic candidate Shawn Harris has forced a runoff in the special election for Marjorie Taylor Greene's deep red Georgia seat, a Trump plus 37 district. So with 70% of the vote in, Harris led all of the candidates, 38.3% to the Trump-endorsed Republican Clay Fuller's 34.5%, beating the Trump-endorsed candidate. The runoff is now set for April 7th. This is a major warning sign for MAGA, with 87% of the votes having been reported. Shawn Harris and Clay Fuller were in the lead. Shawn Harris with 37% of the votes, Clay Fuller with 35% of the votes. At least a 16-point overperformance by the Democrats there. Now, Shawn Harris put out the following message after this huge result this evening, because this race isn't over. Northwest Georgia showed up in a big way, and now we head to a runoff. Momentum is real. The coalition is growing. Let's finish what we started. On to the runoff. Earlier today as well, Shawn Harris also said, breaking, in the middle of election day, we just welcomed a new calf to the farm. Doesn't get more real than that. Work doesn't stop, life doesn't stop, and neither do we. What a day in Northwest Georgia. And then before that, he posted the following. Marjorie Taylor Greene isn't on the ballot, but the fallout from her feud still is. This race isn't about loyalty to Trump. It's about loyalty to the voters of Northwest Georgia. I'm running to serve the people here at home, not chase anyone in Washington. Let's make history. Now, I'm going to show you the victory speech, if you will, or at least the victory to the runoff speech by Shawn Harris. But let me remind you, Donald Trump was recently in Rome, Georgia. Remember, he gave that speech there. What was it? A few weeks back, he was there. And Donald Trump said, just started screaming the word tariffs. He was like, tariffs, tariffs. Here's what he said. Here, play this clip.
Tariffs, tariffs. Can you believe it? It said tariffs. And I got to be before a court. Can you believe it? This is like men playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody. I have a new one to add, voter ID. The Democrats don't want to give us voter ID because they want to cheat.
And then Donald Trump was telling the folks out in Rome, Georgia, I don't think I'm going to make it to heaven. Remember he said this? Here, play this clip.
I said, I don't think I'm going to make it to heaven in front of a massive group of people, 56,000 people. And they were all saying, oh, what does he mean? I don't think I'm going to make it to heaven. I'm doing a great job for a lot of people, but I don't think so. I'm just not worthy of heaven. I'm not going to make it. And I was having a good time going, I was having fun. I hope to make it. But I doubt I will, to be honest with you. A lot of you will. I'm not saying you. But I was having fun.
And then remember when Donald Trump was in Rome, Georgia? He's like, all these men want to violently kiss me. All these men want to violently kiss me. Here, play this clip.
He said, President, if I didn't have all these cameras running, I would grab you and start kissing you violently. And I said, why is that? He said, because what you've done for us economically in this state, in this town, with the tariffs in particular. So I want to just introduce Andrew. Thank you very much. Weird stuff there by Donald Trump. And then he told the people of Rome, Georgia, he said, I've defeated affordability. I won. I'm the winner of affordability. Here, play this clip. You notice, what word have you not heard over the last 2 weeks? Affordability. Because I've won. I've won affordability. I had to go out and talk about it.
By the way, I'm going to show you again Shawn Harris's victory speech, but this past week or so, Marjorie Taylor Greene was on the Megyn Kelly podcast, and Marjorie Taylor Greene had repeatedly said on camera and in interviews, Donald Trump says he's not going to heaven. Donald Trump says he's not making it. If this guy doesn't believe he's making it to heaven, this guy's a deranged lunatic, she called him out as. Here, play this clip.
And then we have the president who, by the way, Megyn, this really needs to be said. Donald Trump has said repeatedly on camera and in interviews, he doesn't think he's going to heaven. Well, I want to ask a question, a serious question. What is in his mind? What is his mental state? If he doesn't think he's going to heaven and he is a man towards the end, he's in the fourth quarter. He's towards the end of his life. How does that pan out for the rest of us when we have a president of the United States who doesn't think and is convinced he's not going to heaven? What does that mean his decision making is? He already said to the New York Post today that he doesn't care about the polling. He doesn't care about what the American people think, and he may put troops on the ground. He took this is going to be a few-day war to now it's going to be maybe 4 weeks or more. I want to say, what is happening to the man that I supported, you supported, the man that denounced what happened in Iraq, the man that said no more foreign wars, no more regime change, promise it on the campaign. J.D. Vance promised it. Tulsi Gabbard promised it. All of them promised it. And we're a year in, and we're in another fucking war, and we've got American troops being killed. I think it's time for America to rip the Band-Aid off, and we need to have a serious conversation about what the fuck is happening to this country and who in the hell are these decisions being made for, and who is making these decisions.
Right, let's show you Shawn Harris's victory speech right here. Here's what he says. April 7th, we finish this. Democrats, independents, Republicans who are ready for something different, I'm asking for your vote. We're getting right back to knocking doors, making calls, and earning every single vote. Take a look at Shawn Harris's speech this evening. Play this clip.
The first one to ask you, how's it feel?
It feels great. This is not about me. This is about all the people here in Northwest Georgia. This is a win for them because finally Northwest Georgia is saying, let's get a leader in Congress. And oh, by the way, yes, we got to go to a runoff. That's not a problem. Tonight is about all the hardworking people here in Northwest Georgia. We will represent every last one of them. And I'm looking forward to actually winning here in August April 7th.
And one of the biggest things that we've talked about is, I just asked 20 minutes ago, the momentum and the difference between when you ran in 2024 to now. The difference, at least statistically, is that you've got over 40% of the vote right now as it stands, which is an increase from 2 years ago.
100%. We knew going into this race, we had something special. That special is Democrats, independents, and yes, Republicans are voting for me. And that clearly played out tonight. And it also says that Donald Trump does not control Northwest Georgia anymore. It's over. And now a new era is coming in. I'm just a person that's going forward to try to represent us and do a great job. And that's why I always say leadership matters.
What do you want people who were overwhelmed by the number of candidates in this current special election tonight and who maybe didn't get out to the polls for this specific race? What do you want them to know about April 7th?
What I want them to know is you can see your voice, well, your vote is your voice. Come out and vote, and we will definitely win this thing completely out on April 7th. And I want to make sure that any and everybody who did vote for me, that voted for all the other great candidates, I want to say to you, give Shawn Harris a chance. If I don't perform, you can fire me. That's not a problem. But as a leader, I believe in holding myself accountable, and I want you to hold me accountable. So I want all those other votes. I don't care who got them. I want Moore's votes. I want everybody's vote. Come to me, give me that chance, and I promise you, I will bring home the results.
Now, I had an opportunity to interview with Shawn Harris 3 months ago, where we predicted this exact result was going to happen. Here's what Shawn Harris told me.
Marjorie and I don't agree on a whole lot of things, but in Marjorie's last days of her transformation, or whatever you want to call it, Marjorie started using my talking points about affordability, making sure we have good health care, make sure we got you can actually afford a house and bring in generational jobs. As soon as she started talking about that, that's when Donald Trump and the Republican Party told her, we don't want you anymore. And as you know, she decided to get out. So what I'm actually hearing here on the ground across the board from Democrats, independents, and what I call Ronald Reagan Republicans is, we want you, Shawn. We want somebody that's going to stand up and stay focused on our district. And that's what I'm going to do. And the way we're going to win it is with a coalition of Democrats, independents, and Ronald Reagan Republicans, because Ronald Reagan was an individual that reached across the aisle. And that's what I'm going to do as a Democrat, to reach across the aisle to do what's best for Northwest Georgia.
And finally, here's a story that Shawn Harris shared with me as he was campaigning. He met someone in Georgia's 14th. Here's what he told me about that person. Play this clip.
Well, I tell you, it's just this morning. I ran into a gentleman this morning at the gas station, and I know him personally, and he's a Marjorie Taylor Greene supporter, and that's great. You know, I don't have to have everybody trying to support me. This is a free country. But he was specifically talking about that issue that you was talking about. He was trying to tell me when I was pumping gas this morning that Donald Trump is going to send him a $2,000 check. And I was trying to explain to him, I don't think you're going to get a $2,000 check in this lifetime. And if you do get it, it will not get here in time enough to be able for you can take care of your family before health care and all these other things guys are kick into place. And you know, we just agreed to disagree. But what he did say to me is, Shawn, I'm watching your race. I like what you're doing. And oh, by the way, I may actually come out and vote for you. So at the end of the day, Ben, I got to win and earn every vote. And the way I'm going to do it is just by talking directly to the people, because they know that they've been had under Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump.
So, horrible evening for Donald Trump yet again. Massive overperformance for Democrats yet again. Is a blue tsunami coming in November, or a blue mega tsunami coming in November? Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. For real, hit subscribe. We're almost at 7 million. Let's get there. Thanks so much for watching, and have a good one.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.